Console Explosion podcast. You're listening to Matt from Edmonton, Alberta.
My name is Jared, otherwise known as Castech, from beautiful Ottawa, Ontario.
And I'm Bill from Edmonton as well.
Welcome, Bill, our newest member.
Thanks for having me.
Console Explosion. Thank you for joining.
Explosion.
Yeah, the Explosion. That's a thing, right? I heard of those guys. Yeah.
I hope so.
You will soon if you haven't already.
Well, you just did.
Yes. Boom.
Too late. You came. All right, boys. I am super stoked. You know why I'm stoked? I am so fucking stoked. We left last week on a cliffhanger.
Boobs.
Yeah, boobs. We need to talk about them. It's fucking serious business, guys. Now that Fatuma's not here, but she's curious. I know she is. Everybody's curious about boobs and what the business is with boobs. Why are we so obsessed? I don't know. I could think of a number of reasons. But you know what's amazing? Virtual reality boobs.
Like breastises. You guys aren't even kidding here, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, we're dead fucking serious. These are breastises, completely virtual.
Do you really think that they compare to the real thing, though? Like, come on.
Oh, no, not at all. Here, I'm going to put this link up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Literally, honest to God, this is all it is. Okay, some gamer has taken what is essentially, you know, those gel mouse pads where they have the...
I'm using one right now. Yes, I do know.
With the tits as
the
wrist. Yeah.
They very comfortably support my wrist here.
Okay, well, to help simulate the feel of natural breasts, he's like propped this thing up and he's using an Oculus Rift headgear so that he can simulate the feel of fondling with an anime girl's breasts.
Oh, wow. That's a creative kid you've got there.
And I don't even know how old he is. He doesn't look all that old, to be brutally honest with you. So it's what I would expect. If the guy was like 40 years old, I'd probably be a little creeped out.
Yeah, I guess when you're a kid, you get off wherever you can, right?
Right. It's just another medium to suffice, right? So anyways, I don't know. Kind of, this is where virtual reality headgear is going. And frankly, not saying I'm going to tap into this sort of thing. Like, I'm just going to go out and get like actual breasts, get a life. Go
get yourself some real breasts.
Yeah, I'll go drop some cash, maybe undergo some procedures, and then I won't have to worry about it ever again.
Yeah. Or you could go the cheap way and just become obese, and they don't look as pretty. I'll give you that, but they work.
Fuck, I'm trying to think of the cartoon.
Headache. If you grow your own boobs, it's less of a headache.
Less of a bill, too, man. I think breast implants are quite expensive.
Well, I don't know. They seem to be.
But what the breasts are connected to cost you a lot more over time.
Mind you, you'd make a lot more friends. I guarantee you that. All your guy friends would be like, oh, do they feel real?
Would you actually let your guy friends grope you up?
I don't know. That's
I don't know. That'd be kind of weird, man.
Does it become weird because you're still a dude? He's just touching your breastises.
Would your friends become weird though? Is the bigger question. I think. Like,
I have to say I would, even though I brought that up.
You wouldn't, or you would?
Oh, I definitely would. I would be stranged out.
But would you ever open the question? Just be like,
I would, Matt. I would have a few drinks, and it would just pop out. I would be in my head, so I would just say it.
Top's already off. It's like, no.
Yeah, imagine you just get really comfortable. It's hot in there. You just take your shirt off because you're still a bro, so you don't care.
Yeah.
But then you've actually got these, gorgeous set of knockers. Who's not going to be uncomfortable in that room?
I'm already uncomfortable right now, and I'm in a room by myself. So, yeah. That's all that fuss was about. So, yeah, great cliffhanger, guys. I hope you're all satisfied. So, Now that that's out of the way, let's get to some serious biz.
Seriousness.
Seriousness.
Serious.
Do we want to get the Microsoft Minecraft talk out of the way? Because we kind of tackled this last week, but this is like done. It's confirmed. It's over. Microsoft has Mojang, $2.5 billion, which is huge. A little bigger than what we were anticipating. I heard it was more negotiated around the $2 billion range, but I guess they were able to get a little bit more money out of Microsoft. And Notch is in fact not returning. He's gonna walk. He's going his own way. So,
Isn't it
the creator?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was the creator. Isn't it for $2.5 billion Microsoft bought Mojang just minus the 3 creators?
something like that. Yeah, they basically bought the IP and all of its assets. And
From what I
they'll do
read, he wanted to move on to other things. The Minecraft had kind of taken up all of his time. He had no time for other projects that he wanted to work on.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured he would get to that point anyways. Like most developers want to move on and challenge themselves to bigger and greater, better things, you know. Like this was his game that essentially broke him out into the scene. Like I know they've had a couple other hits here and there, but like Minecraft is by far the biggest.
Yeah. Well, for one of your first projects to become that successful is pretty impressive. I want to see what else he does next.
Well, the pressure's on, that's for sure, to try and meet up the expectations that are built now because of Minecraft. Like he's got big pants to fill, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know exactly what his next game is going to be. It's going to be Brain Create.
This is a real thing, eh?
Yeah, it's just like Minecraft, but they're circles instead of blocks.
That's a little bit underwhelming.
Circles as in like atoms?
No, circles as in like just instead of a square, everything's circled.
You mean like a sphere too, like
Yeah, sphere.
Yeah, spherical.
but still,
I'm
like he's doing
Googling
the
this
same
and I
thing.
can't find it.
I would hope for something completely different.
I wish it was April, because I was joking.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't
You
know
had
you
me
well
fooled.
enough yet.
Minecraft Brain Create.
You know what? It's just
I kind of thought you were full of shit, but Matt didn't say anything, and I didn't know you
No.
well enough yet. So
well, I didn't want to step on any toes. I didn't want to be the guy on a podcast being like, you know, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and going out of my ass, you know, the whole way through. I didn't do that.
I am relieved because that would like be a waste of fucking time. It's basically already done.
But I've seen stuff similar to like, I don't know where you're getting the whole spherical idea. Either that was just let's go opposite a cube that gave you that idea, or whatever. I watched this video that's probably a couple years old now, but there's like a company that's developing a new method of sort of like constructing 3D games. They're not using now I can't think of the word right now. It's not like polygons or anything like that. They actually use like spherical, like little pebbles, almost like atoms, just like constructing things from the ground up, and it creates a more realistic visual look. And so the level of detail is virtually endless because you can literally pick it off one piece by piece.
Yeah. The thing that stuck in my mind most when you said the circle thing, I was like, how are they going to attach all the blocks together? That's going to look so strange. All the spaces between.
It's snowman. Just a snowman.
Just a world full of snowmen.
Some people might actually be into that. And now if you could blow the snowman up, if you could bring them to life, if you could like build an army of snowmen that could launch snowballs at you.
When you play the game, the only sounds you hear is the Frozen song. Do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah.
Sounds like a game engineered to drive people insane.
It sounds like the perfect middle finger to Microsoft.
Yeah.
For Notch in this case, but he's already won. Like he's walking away with like, well, maybe not him and the 2 other members, of course. They're going to split the $2.5 billion that they're getting, but like, fuck, that kid struck gold, man.
I read that he was already a millionaire from just Minecraft alone. So it's not like it's made him. He's already doing quite well for himself.
Absolutely.
Hopefully he just pours that into his next project.
Right?
Yeah.
Build himself a new company, maybe do what Bungie did, put in like how much money was put into Destiny? Like 325 million or something like that. It cost more than the movie Avatar.
Huh.
Like that's how big this budget was.
Yeah, because Grand Theft Auto was 200 million.
Yeah, then this hit
That
the
was
300 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, that's a
So
lot
I
of
mean, yeah, even just of $1 billion, like that's pocket change for him. So
Yeah.
come on, Notch, let's do it. Next level shit. Blow their pants off. Give Microsoft another reason to buy something from you. They probably want to put it on Microsoft platforms with the Windows Phone. I don't think Minecraft's on that yet.
They're leaving it for all platforms, is what I heard.
Well,
They're
all the
not changing
platforms
that.
it's currently on. But,
Yeah, they're not going to limit it just to Microsoft equipment.
Yeah, no, those titles will certainly still flourish. Like the PS4 and the Xbox One version are still coming out.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that to look forward to. But like, yeah, the Windows Phone's kind of been in the dark lately for like online applications and mobile gaming. So if Microsoft can, because not just being so stubborn towards Microsoft over this, maybe not this ordeal specifically, but they have a history of just kind of like bashing heads. He didn't cooperate all too well with them when it came to like developing it to support Windows 8 and making it on just any Windows platform, really. Like the Xbox 360 thing took a lot of pushing on Microsoft's part, but that game ended up and still is today, I think, in if not number one, the highest Xbox arcade title to ever. Let me rephrase that. It is the most successful Xbox Live Arcade title on the Xbox 360. It was the biggest, and it still is, actually. I'm pretty sure it's in the top 3 still. Most downloaded on all platforms, including mobile. So Microsoft definitely wants to get their hands on something like that, because that's one market that they have yet to tackle. Now, I guess the question does stand, like, sure, Microsoft will want to make these games available on the platforms that they're already on, because that would just build up outrage. But is Sony willing to continue to sell the Minecraft product if it means that it's a full supported, like possibly one of Microsoft's biggest franchises? It's basically Halo going to a PlayStation.
I don't see them pushing it as much. I don't see them promoting it as much. I don't see them, especially when every one sold is money into Microsoft's pocket,
Right.
straight into their competitor. I don't see that. But yet again, I mean, I noticed the PS3 edition for Minecraft actually had a big price drop. It was
Oh, yeah?
$49.99. Now it's $19.99 everywhere
Nice.
across the board. Walmart, Future Shop, GameStop. It's $19.99 now. So,
I can't
some Walmart places it's actually $9.99. So
I can't believe they were selling it at $50. Like, it's $20 on the Xbox Live Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, they're bringing it to par.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got mine because I only got Minecraft last year, and it was $20 for the 360.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's always been that price. I've never known it to be any more than that. $50 seems a little excessive. I wonder what kind of features you get with that.
I don't know. I'm just gonna check.
Oh, well, they probably give you all the different skins that they have, because there are different textures that you have to buy otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
that would make sense.
realistic texture packs and all that jazz. Different characters that they have in there too, actually, which you don't get to play as if you get the vanilla version.
Right.
Minecraft is the 4th highest selling game on the Xbox 360, technically tied for 3rd with Black Ops.
Wow.
That's incredible.
At 12 million. The second place is Halo 3. You guys want to take a shot in the dark to see who's in first?
Oh, no clue.
We're talking Xbox 360?
Xbox 360, yep.
Halo 4? Or is it Grand Theft Auto?
Drum roll is. Do you want to take a guess there, Bill?
No, man, I'm not. I don't have any clue.
With 24 million copies sold, you're looking at the wonderful Microsoft Studio published game. Developer was Good Science Studio.
Connect Sports?
Connect Adventures.
Oh, I was close.
What?
24 million.
Oh my god. That's just like Nintendo saying that Wii Sports is the highest sold on the Wii. It came bundled with the fucking console. Like,
Yeah.
that upsets me. That really upsets me when it's motion gaming that's the highest sold, and they got to be proud about it. Obviously, the units are there.
Like, I maybe would have thought Watch Dogs or something like that.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, because that was a pretty game.
Yeah,
it was a flop by the end of it. If they actually like put it out the year that they unveiled it, it would have done far better. But I think they waited too long. It even got delayed more than once.
Yeah, no, exactly. Speaking of Nintendo, like their top 10 is first place with 82.5 million copies sold, Wii Sports.
Yep.
Next is Mario Kart Wii with 35 million.
Okay. Smash Brothers next?
Next is Wii Sports Resort.
Oh, fuck you.
With 32 million. Next is New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Next is Wii Play.
Still no Smash Brothers.
Wii Fit.
Uh-huh.
Wii Fit Plus.
Uh-huh.
Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh my god.
And then Super Smash Brothers.
Oh. There it is.
And then the 10th one is, oh god, Wii Party.
Holy fuck. So that's got to be what, like 6 Wii, like I'm talking titles with Wii in it?
6 titles that are Wii only games.
I didn't think people liked the Wii that much. I really didn't.
82.5 million sold, and Wii games sold with it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, all of those titles, not counting, of course, like Mario Galaxy and Smash Brothers, and I guess Mario Kart had some motion control in there, but like all of these were intended to like demonstrate the capability of like the Wii's motion control system. And you can see it going through the generations, basically up to the death of the Wii. The top, like the 6 titles they have in there, all had some unique hook to them, you know. I mean, I guess Nintendo did a good job of marketing it, or people were curious about it because it was in a time where we weren't really too familiar with motion gaming. Like, it was the whole point of the Wii console, and we were convinced that it was next generation stuff that would succeed and flourish and get bigger. But then, well, it turns out it was nothing more than a gimmick, and it flopped miserably. But like, the units were there, the numbers, copies were sold. Like, no wonder Nintendo was forcing this down your throat. And the same goes for like Connect Sports and all that kind of stuff. Like, as long as these games continue to sell, they're not going to go away. But I remember E3 this year, there was almost no talk about motion gaming. I mean, Connect was briefly mentioned at the Microsoft conference, something about Harmonix doing something. And then at the EA conference, I remember them showing us some new arcadey style, like, here, work out by yourself game, where you can actually like compete against your old self in other arcade titles. I'm getting into too much detail, but yeah, that's all that was mentioned of E3, right? Yeah, something like that. It's all the same kind of shit. It's just cookie cutter. That's what people who
actually exercise do, though. They try to beat their personal best anyway without a machine. That whole thing just kind of, I found that ridiculous. You don't need a console to exercise.
Right. But now with the virtual reality just around the corner, I think these games were basically put on the shelf, and they're focusing on like what I feel is far more important. Getting virtual reality out there and having it done right. It seems to be the one thing in this industry that everybody respectfully is trying to get right. Otherwise, it's just going to be another market flop, and you can't like taint your name with something as big as virtual reality just coming around the bend, right? So I'm excited to see. And now we have virtual boobs, so like it's only getting better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kids these days don't know how good they have it.
Well, we don't know how good that kid has it. I mean, for him, all it takes is that gel pad, mouse pad, and a virtual anime girl in front of him.
Yeah, and a shitload of Kleenex.
Maybe it's virtual Kleenex. And maybe he like incorporates the Hydra attachment, which is built to work with the Oculus Rift to sort of simulate your hands in a virtual world. So they're essentially like, if you
That's
know
like
anything of
a fleshlight kind of, right?
no, you don't stick your dick in it. That's the one thing you can't do. I mean, you could do a couple love taps, but that's about it.
Oh, actually, I was listening to a TED Talk today where she talked about how you could actually stimulate a cadaver, as long as the Lazarus effect could still have, and their spinal cord was still getting oxygen. You could actually stimulate a dead person to have an orgasm. So if they
Good.
hooked up those electrodes to your body, you could kind of have like a virtual orgasm too. That's where those video games are going to be going.
Good. So if I ever commit necrophilia, I know that I can still get myself off, and the other person can too.
If that's the application you're looking for. The point is, you don't actually need genitals to have an orgasm. It's in your nervous system.
It's all in your DNA.
Indeed.
Tap into the matrix.
Whoa.
That's Jared crying a little bit, ladies and gentlemen.
Just dying inside, folks. Dying inside.
Well, I guess this is sort of related to the Minecraft business. As a matter of fact, according to this article, the 14th of September, the PS4 has successfully outsold the Xbox One for its 8th consecutive month straight in the US.
No surprise.
So, I mean, if you ask me, Sony has complete power. If they wanted to cut off Minecraft completely, I'm sure that would just hack away 50% of Microsoft's earnings right there.
Well, I was just looking at the top PS3 games sold over time. Minecraft is on that list.
Okay,
for
so
top PS3. I'm just going to pull it up again. List for best-selling PS3 Minecraft, but with only 1.5 million copies.
Oh, all right.
So it's not like it's a huge amount, right?
Right, but how long ago did that release? Like, that was this year that game came out, right?
It was released April 16th, 2014.
Okay, and later this year we're getting the PS4 and the Xbox One versions.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe people are holding off. Maybe they're waiting. I mean, at this point, everybody I feel has, like, anybody out there that is playing Minecraft already has it on some sort of platform. And maybe they did pay a second price to put it on, like, their cell phone so they could continue to play it. But for me, the appeal will definitely be 4-player split screen, which is what I completely expect from these consoles because, one, it is fucking Minecraft on the console, and it's inexcusable that it can't be 4-player split screen unless that becomes exclusive to Microsoft, which is something they could totally fucking do. Aside from like maybe a timely release, like they could exclusively put it on the Xbox One because they like to say it's exclusively released for us, but then it turns out, sorry, what we actually meant is it's with us for a couple of months and then it goes on the other platforms. So maybe they'll pull one of those kind of stunts, but
I can see that happening too.
PS4 has well, maybe not global dominance. It has dominance in North America.
I think it even has global superiority.
When do you think this is going to end? Like, is the Xbox One ever going to get a chance to pick themselves up? Are we going to have to wait for Halo 5 for this sort of thing to happen? Or
I think with Destiny, it's going to be a really tall order.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. I think people jumped on Destiny because there was that Halo
craving.
Yeah, PS3/4 users. Yeah, the PS3, PS4 users never had, a Halo, quote unquote, right? And Destiny was the first thing.
It's a Bungie title, and people know that Bungie makes good quality games. There's definitely been the PlayStation demographic that has been, they've begged Bungie to bring their titles to their console because I don't want to have an Xbox just for Halo. Like, I mean, if I could afford it, I'd probably do it, but, it's not just going to be for Halo because to me that just seems like a waste of money. Now that it's available on both platforms and now that Sony actually has, like, advertising rights, like, they made by far the best decision they possibly could have on that. And Microsoft is basically left in the dust. Like, you could be onto something. Like, it's probably too late for them to pick themselves up from that. Like, Destiny just shot Sony up there, and it actually showed, it actually got Sony the highest hardware sales for the PS4 since its launch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously like the bundled console to be the biggest contributor on that, but I'm sure a lot of people out there bought a console for Destiny. I know I'm going to. Right now I have a friend who owns a PS4, but I got to get myself my own console whenever we part our, go our separate ways or whatever. Like, I'm not going to be left with nothing. It'd be nice if it came to the PC though. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I already have a system that is more than capable of playing next generation titles, and it just, these exclusives, man, they screw me. But that's what they're there for. They're trying to push people to buy the hardware. And
yeah, the exclusive stuff is quite annoying, because that's the reason I haven't played The Last of Us. It's exclusively PlayStation, and I'm an Xbox guy, so screwed over in that respect.
We'll give it 5 years. Maybe they'll have like a trilogy collection that they'll bundle up for the Xbox One and put it on the console for you. I mean, they did it with Metal Gear. That eventually made its way to all other platforms after it lived its life on the PlayStation 2. And
yeah, you're right. But it did take a long time.
Absolutely.
Until all their games were out, basically. Who's going to go back? I suppose there are people who will go back and play them from the start, but I'm not one of them.
Well,
but you'll have to remember, though, The Last of Us was made by a company that is strictly PlayStation.
Yep.
They're published by PlayStation. So I highly doubt that would ever happen. I don't see it ever. The Last of Us, Uncharted, anything from Naughty Dog going over to another system.
Well, and it sucks just because it's about money. That's the reason why that's happening. But because of that, because I'm not going to buy a PlayStation just for one game. Like, you make a good point, Matt. It's pointless to do that for me. But now I'm going to miss out on that unless I find a friend who's got a PlayStation in that game, and then I can just harass him.
Yeah.
Until then,
I bought an Xbox 360 for one game. Actually, 2 games.
Oh, yeah?
Fable and Left 4 Dead.
And you don't play anything else on there?
That's it.
Well, Left 4 Dead they have for PC, so I would play PC Left 4
Dead. However, Left 4 Dead is not multiplayer split screen on PC, which is
exactly
such a piss off.
Well, how would that even work? I guess if you've got controllers, because I remember how you work your setup.
Yeah.
I guess that is kind of annoying.
It is, and there's ways to work into it. Like, you can kind of like do some coding work and kind of work in the console, but you don't get the perks that come with using workshop mods or any of that kind of stuff. Like, I just do a lot of reskinning. So like my Left 4 Dead, and I probably should show you guys sometime. Maybe we'll play it on the co-op couch. But I'm shooting Teletubbies
instead of zombies.
And all of the survivors are raptors, and they're wielding Minecraft guns and Minecraft melee weapons. And and you can change out the enemies. Like my boomer's a giant stave puffed marshmallow man, and I have Diddy Kong as the jockey, and all kinds of fun stuff. Like, if people don't know all the good stuff that comes with the PC version of Left 4 Dead 2, pick yourself up a copy. It's $5 right now on Steam, and I highly recommend it. Go through the workshop. People just constantly update their own kind of stuff, and it's always great. So fun.
What you should do is put a request out there for somebody to try and make it split screen.
Well, like I said, there is a way to do it, but you got to like do some fancy coding.
Yeah, no, it's just beyond us. You need some guy who can read computer code, who's really smart and all that jazz.
It's really not that complex that you may think. It's just there's
it's like wizardry because it's so over my head.
Yeah. Okay.
I see somebody do that and I think they're a magician. Start worshiping them.
I must be Merlin.
I put a little picture of him up on my wall. I pray to it every night before I go to bed.
Oh, is it me? Am I on your ceiling?
I could never put a ginger on my wall.
Oh, but I'm only half ginger. I mean, if it was my cat, I'd understand. But come on.
No exceptions.
What if you had a portrait of me with like that glow in the dark ink, and it only came out at night?
Then I would probably have a heart attack, even though
The
I'm
glow,
perfectly healthy.
the glow in the dark stuff would only be your beard.
Yeah,
That would be
Just your beard and
terrifying to
hair
wake
and
up in the middle of
eyebrows
the
would
night and
glow.
see that.
yeah, that'd be sweet. We're getting off the topic here.
Yes, I'm pretty good at doing that.
So, okay, Fable and Left 4 Dead. Those are some good games to have on the Xbox. We've even had some exclusives for the Xbox go eventually to the PlayStation. And nowadays,
Mass
what you're
Effect.
finding, Mass Effect is one, BioShock is another.
But BioShock was only a limited
For
exclusive.
it took them like 2 or 3 years to get it to the PlayStation, though. I'm talking the first BioShock game.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by limited? They didn't put the second one?
Well, I guess nowadays limited means like a couple of months, but like back then it was never said it would go to the PlayStation console until it was like years past and it was kind of forgotten. It was like, oh yeah, by the way, Sony fans, you're going to get this great game too.
Yeah.
Because eventually the developers want to open to a new market. Like once that game stops selling, they got to figure out a new way to milk it for every last penny it's worth. So if there's a market you haven't hit yet, why wouldn't you make it available on that?
Exactly, and you want to
But
talk
then
about
why would
milking a
they?
game.
Then why would they do it for just 2 months and then take it away? Is that just to, like build up like an appetite for it, so people like really want to get it during that time?
Well, nowadays it's not a viable plan to just keep it on one platform. Like we see everything nowadays, whether it make it to its first console, doesn't matter which one, it will eventually become available on others. You know, titles out there are doing that kind of stuff, and even like applications for your cell phone are now being like developed and re-released on consoles. Like, why do we need threes on an Xbox console? Can someone explain that to me?
Not me. I have
Sorry,
no clue.
which game?
Threes. Do you know of this game? It's super basic, like $2. And just so it's there on another console, opens up a new market, whatever. I'm curious to see how much that sold. But the game is simple. It's got like a grid layout, maybe no bigger than what a Sudoku board would be. And it just puts out these blocks. They start at 3, and you got to combine them each with the same number. And they basically double in size.
Okay, yeah, I know that game now. I've never heard of it called Threes.
Well, Threes.
I've heard of it called 2046.
Yeah, that was the knockoff made for the Android phones because it was only put on the iOS at the time.
Well, that's the one I have is 2046. Yeah.
And it was free, right? 2046 was free because that's all that game is. That's all it should be is free. But I don't know, like.
Well, what about this? Angry Birds.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Angry Birds Trilogy for the PlayStation 3.
Fuck it, on the Nintendo DS.
I guess there are just people out there who are going to pay for that, though. Like,
and people pay full price. Like these games are bundled and packaged for $50.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the world is full of stupid people.
That's the thing. It's basic consumer. Like if they're going to buy it, they're going to buy it. Thanks for your money, asshole. Like.
Yeah.
I guess that's falls in the same line as Capcom.
Yeah.
And that whole Street Fighter thing I bring up every single podcast.
Yeah, you do. Oh, it's just like Capcom.
Yep.
Just like Capcom. Yeah.
Just like Capcom. Fucking
just so many different
over and having it their way with you and releasing the same game 78 different times and people will buy it.
I need to get my hands on the latest Street Fighter title. I was almost I almost bought it just simply because of the fact it's like maybe $20 or $30 and I could get a coupon for like a website such as like Green Man Gaming or something and buy it for somewhat of a discount. But you know, truth be told, I probably wouldn't spend any more than $10 on it. But that's besides the point. I haven't played a Street Fighter title since Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
And I feel like even if I pick up this new version, it's going to feel very much the same. I might have a couple new faces, maybe some new costumes, but as far as I know, like the impression I get on it is it's just like 6th generation Street Fighter 4.
It's just balanced. And
yeah, that's all it is. Like, why can't you do that with game like updates and patches, DLC? Like, give me something to give me value to the copy that I just bought from you instead of making me
Because they
cough
can-
up another
Well,
full
what
price.
is your average DLC cost? Like $5 or something like that. Whereas
Yeah,
if they make a new
$4.99.
game, they can sell it again for full
Depends.
price. It's
Well, it
just
depends. It's
it's just good
$14.99
marketing.
for amount of characters, right? Look at Call of Duty and
Yeah.
Battlefield. For 4 maps, it's $14.99,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah.
Or you
Let's just-
buy the season pass for $59.99 or $49.99
Well, from I'm a Battlefield player, and they give you the option to pay right away, unlock all the guns, all the equipment, or
Yeah.
you can work for it. You can play through the game. And of course, being somebody who doesn't pay for it, I slightly resent the people who do and get all the stuff because I feel like they didn't have to work for it, they didn't earn it, they just kind of get it right off the bat. But it's just smart because if you're impatient, like I am, if I did have the money to throw away, I probably would buy it just to see what the end level of guns are going to be like.
But then where's the replay value? Like, what's going to keep bringing you to the game? Because at this point, in this
Some
scenario
people get
here,
enjoyment from dominating others.
yeah,
in
that's true.
games. I don't know.
For me, half the excitement when it comes to any first-person shooter is the leveling system. If I can continue to
Yes.
level up and I can continue to unlock new guns, that's great. Titanfall does something a little different. Eventually, when you max out, you have the option to regenerate yourself. And with each new generation, you get a boost in the rate of experience that you gain while you play, as well as a couple fancy logos and stuff like that you can deck your place out. Aside from that, it's no different, but I lose all of my weapon unlocks and I have to start right away from the first point again.
Yeah.
So that's the same as what Black Ops was.
Yes, Black Ops
Prestige.
allowed you to do
Yeah, the
that.
prestige system.
Mhm. Which is nice. I actually don't
Skyrim
mind.
kind of did that too with you get legendary once you get a skill max to 100. And I never used it because I was like, I'm not going to start my guy from scratch again, basically. But I was told that every time you do that, you get a slight increase in the damage that you do or the power of that ability. So it actually did reward you for doing that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each game tries to give you a replay value because gamers feel entitled to something
That used to be the
rewarding.
number one thing that I would look for in a game that I would buy is replay value because I tend to go through games 4 or 5 times. I don't even know how many characters I've made in Skyrim and gone through.
Mm-hmm.
I've made one character in Skyrim, and I'm stuck on it, and I haven't picked up the game since.
What?
I'm stuck as a vampire, and I can't heal or change myself into a non-vampire because you have to go into the city to go talk to this guy. But when I go into the city, they go, "Oh my God, you're a vampire," and I can't do it. Or if I go into the guy's house, he freaks out because I'm a vampire and I can't heal myself, so I'm stuck as a vampire. Can't go into any cities, can't do shit. I hate
What you need to do is use vampire seduction on a guy, feed on him, so that you're not 100% vampire, and then they won't attack you. And there's an easy way to get away from that is to just turn yourself into a werewolf, which you can basically ignore completely because you don't ever need to change unless you want to. So, boom, problem solved.
Shit. There we go. Build a problem solver.
I might blow the dust off the game and might put it in. We'll see.
No, I've got games too that I've hit a wall and I just stopped playing. I played Dishonored, got to in the 3rd mission, and I stopped playing it for 2 years. I picked it up recently because I saw it was on sale on Steam. Played the game from the start, and I actually think it's a really good game. And it was underrated, but because of me hitting a wall and not feeling in the mood to deal with it, I just left it there.
Yeah, and that's pretty typical for gamers.
Yeah, as long as you don't trade it in, you'll always have that opportunity to go back to it.
Yeah, and as long as the game just keeps forking over rewards to you, give you a reason to keep playing, people will put their time and money into it, I guess.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that happened with me with Terminator Salvation.
Are we talking the movie or the game?
The game. You
I
play
don't
the
know.
game, and
I don't know if I saw that one.
I'm stuck on it, and if you actually watch my video on Kaztech's Corner on the Console Explosion, www.theconsoleexplosion.com, and check out my review of Terminator Salvation, you'll know that it's probably the easiest game to get a platinum trophy in.
Plugs.
Ding, ding, ding.
No, Avatar: The Last Airbender for the Xbox.
That's one of the things
game to get achievements from. Just saying.
That's what I hate about Xbox achievements. They give you achievements for simply doing something that you were going to do anyway, like a linear story. You get past level 1, and it's boom, you've achieved level 1. That's not what achievement should be. It should be like got 30 headshots in less than 10 seconds in a shooter or something like that. Like, which is obviously ridiculous, but that kind of thing where you actually have to accomplish something instead of like, oh, you took your first step. Congratulations, 10 gamer points.
You know what was the worst thing? When the achievements first started rolling out in the first couple of years of the Xbox 360's life, for some reason developers tried to like troll gamers by putting in like negative achievements. Like not necessarily take away points, but they would just be shit like you don't get a gamer score for this, but just so you know you lost to somebody or stuff like that. And it would just sit and like a badge, it's on your gamer's profile. And, you know, people at that time actually cared about that shit because it was a whole new social networking thing and you could put in reviews of people.
Because everybody could see that. So it sits
you can
there
compare
like
your achievements
like a
and shit.
skid mark on your name.
Exactly. It's just like, making me feel bad. Like, I don't think a game needs to do that for you. What was the point in that in the first place? I'm glad that didn't continue, but...
Yeah, but they've gone the complete other way by, like, coddling you and rewarding you for every little thing now. They need to find that middle ground.
I mean, it's all about holding your hand through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
See, for me, when it comes to trophies and achievements and everything, I think there needs to be a split between online achievements and trophies and single player. Games where you have to get 100% if you don't have the multiplayer is kind of unfair.
Well, you know what I found really good about Red Dead Redemption? They made certain achievements and challenges that you'd have to do in order to unlock some like really good weapons later in the game. And that really motivated me to actually do these things. Like shooting people's hats off was very difficult for me. I ended up having to use a cheap method and just using a shotgun and hitting a cluster of guys. So like, sure, it shot their hats off, but it also killed them. So it wasn't really, I didn't accomplish it, but I got my weapon.
And victory for me.
Indeed, great success.
Yes.
Well, it's like I have 3 trophies to go on the Ghostbusters, the movie, or Ghostbusters, the game. Can't get it because they shut the servers down. It's now impossible. So I'll never get the trophy on it, and it sucks.
It'll always haunt you in your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up in a cold sweat.
I think if they're gonna pull it, you should at least give everyone the trophies for it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In a quick update, you know, bam, there it is. We don't have online services anymore. There's all the online trophies that you would have got.
Yeah.
That would be good, yeah.
But I mean, in the end of it, trophies really don't matter to people. I mean, they do at a point, enough that they carry over into the next generation. Like, that is just something that will stick. Frankly, I you know, you go back and you play like an old game nowadays and you sit there and you're like, where's my achievement? Like, why don't I get like just the console to be like, oh, hey, way to go, buddy. That doesn't happen anymore. And I did appreciate the 360 for that. And then when PS3 jumped on with the trophy system, like that followed years later. But like, I thought it was a good thing, a nice nod to the gamer. It wasn't all negative, of course, but
no.
Like I remember looking at my friends' things and seeing what they've done. It's like, oh wow, they've dedicated like quite a lot of time to these single players, just like I have. And you kind of look through their achievements and compare yours. Be like, oh, I got that one. He didn't get that one.
Yeah. And like playing Halo 3 and stuff, just playing online with other people, there would usually just be guys that's like, hey, let's not, I mean, we have to follow through with this killing, with this Slayer that we're going to play, but I want to try and get an achievement first. Can you guys help me? And then everybody like pats each other on their back because it's like, well, if you're going to get it, I fucking need it. If I'm going to fucking get it, then you're going to get it. Like, it was all about just kind of sharing the love and stuff. But then there would always be like the last guy because you're playing in a game with like 10 people. You probably get about 6 of them that succeed, and then the other 4 are just kind of left high and dry because people just want to get to the game now. It's like, fuck it, I already got my achievement. Fuck you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Because it takes longer than expected. It's like 5 minutes have passed, game's almost done. Fuck, I'm gonna come out on top so I can get my my rank increased. But yeah, achievements.
I'll find that a lot with story progression too in some games.
Yeah, I mean, it's
in Warframe that I'm playing right now. I find that a lot. Like, I'll have to go back and help my buddy finish. You got to finish entire planets before you can move to new ones, and so I frequently find that I'm like going back and doing old missions just to help my friends catch up, so that we can all play through in the same time. And it does get annoying or tedious.
Yeah. I mean, really, if you think about it, like what are you working towards? You're not going to get like a big pay cut. You're not
No,
getting
you're kind of
anything.
just there to make it go smoother and faster for them.
Yeah,
That's what friends are for, man.
exactly. Well, all
Agreed.
right then. I think that's we're done with that bit of business. Um, Let me think. I got a little thing we can touch on, and this is more of the same shit that we keep bringing up and all that kind of stuff. More Nintendo DLC. They just seem to be going crazy with this kind of stuff. They actually just recently patched up Mario Kart 8, which is creating all kinds of waves online. People are pissed off, but that's besides the point. Um, Hyrule Warriors has announced they have a few packs coming out. We've actually got 5 of them listed here. Shit to look forward to within the new year up till February, as a matter of fact. So, cool gesture, kind of nice. I remember the days where you'd have Bungie kind of teasing us 3 new maps or something, and it's like this is when it'll come out, pay full price. Nintendo, I guess, needs to give us something to hold on to I guess, wait for. I don't know. I feel they're carrying this out all wrong because, I mean, they're kind of the last ones to get to this point where they're now distributing DLC content for their titles and stuff, and maybe they're filling us in with a little too much. I guess it's a nice thing to look forward to. If anybody's playing Hyrule Warriors come February, I'll be fucking surprised. But I haven't played the game, so I don't know. For one, we get 3 new playable characters starting on September 30th. That will be a free pack for y'all. You get Sia, Volga, and Wizro. Wizro, yeah. Not sure who that is. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Legend of Zelda guy either. But
Are these all Zelda people?
These, I would assume, are Zelda people. Because it is Hyrule Warriors and it's all about Zelda and Zelda being awesome like Dynasty Warriors. The next pack is the Master Quest pack coming out October 16th. You get a new weapon, a new scenario, a new adventure map, and 2 costumes. Okay. Cool. They got a Twilight Princess pack in November, which gives you 1 new character, although nobody's saying anything about it. I guess Midna's in the regular roster, so I don't know who we're going to see. You get a weapon, adventure map, and 2 costumes. Then they have the Majora's Mask pack, which comes out in January. And I feel that this is timed. I think we're going to see perhaps a Majora's Mask for the 3DS, say around that time. It just seems like such a... How am I trying to say it?
Coincidence?
It's coincidental, sure. Like, let's put in Majora's Mask, but I don't see any mention of Skyward Sword or I guess the Ocarina of Time is in there, but like the Majora's Mask just specifically standing out like that and coming in on January. I feel like they would do it sooner while the game is still like big for people, but I think they're expecting that to bring some people back to the game because we're getting 2 new characters with that, an adventure map, and 3 new costumes. That's actually the most generous if you're just considering what everything else is put out there. And then the boss pack in February to kind of close it out, you get 2 new game modes. Woo.
More replay value, hopefully.
Yeah. And there's no price tags being posted. Oh, wait, never mind. They can be pre-ordered for $14.99. And doing so will get you the Dark Link costume at launch.
Oh, another go at it, eh?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, what do you guys think? Is Nintendo carrying this out all the wrong way, or am I just talking out of my ass? It just seems weird the way that they're handling this kind of stuff.
I just think it's because you're not used to it. I think it's about time that Nintendo jumped on the whole bandwagon of DLC and patches and.
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't. I mean, that's definitely a thing that should have happened, like on the Wii, as they were promising us back before, it just seems a little too late. And now they just want to, like, I guess, get us gripped and keep us on the edge of our seat. But I don't know how excited I can get over, like, marking on my calendar the next, like, 4 or 5 months of DLC packs. Oh, we got some feedback there. What happened? Did somebody play a video?
No, that was a phone call.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. I should have. Okay.
No,
Well, there you go. Bill's popular. He'd rather talk to other people outside of this conversation.
Well, you know, Matt, you're kind of just rambling at this point.
I am, aren't I? I'm sorry. I do that sometimes.
No, I do like the idea of DLC because you don't have to wait like another 2-3 years before a game comes out. You can kind of continue to play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. I'm not saying the DLC is a bad thing. I'm not saying the DLC is a bad thing. I'm just thinking, like, you know, maybe they don't have to shovel this all into our throats all before the game even launches. Like, they already talk DLC before this game's in our hands. And I don't know, it just seems a little too soon.
It's like a promise that once you beat the game, there will be more for you to do after. Like, I don't know. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, they're trying to say it's not a one-trick pony.
Yeah. Because if you get one DLC pack, you're bound to get another one. That's just how it usually works, you know? They'll put out 2 or 3, and then they'll go on and make a new game.
Yeah, but we don't even get this kind of thing for Call of Duty. Like, at least those titles, you know, live for a couple of months before anything's being, like,
well, the
notion of new maps are being said.
Yeah, but the single player is not the main thing. Like, people who play Call of Duty, they're into doing the repetitive shit where you just continuously kill each other in the same maps. And it would take them longer, I think, to get bored and need a new map.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. I've played Battlefield for like over a year without being like, oh, I really need a new map. And it was still interesting enough that I would get excited to play.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, I bought Black Ops 1, owned it for over a year and a half, and never played the single player.
Yeah.
It was nothing but multiplayer.
I don't think I played.
Bought Black Ops 2.
Sorry,
Same thing. Never played the single player.
Yeah.
Same with Battlefield 4. I haven't played the single player. Actually, that's a lie. I tried it a couple days ago for the first time. But with Battlefield 4, it's all about the multiplayer.
Vehicles. Well, okay, yeah. The single player is all about the vehicles. That's all that's for. Training you.
I think I did the first mission. I started the first mission when I got Battlefield 4. I got killed once, and I was like, all right, let's try the multiplayer. And I hadn't touched the single player since. Mind you, I've got it for Xbox 360. It's insanely buggy, so I don't even play it anymore. Like, I wish that I had bought it for PC and my PC could run it. That would be amazing. Because even then, you get like 64-player multiplayer matches instead of the 32. So that's another huge bonus.
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to get better at flying the helicopter.
I'm a pro at that. I just wish I had people who could sit in my helicopter who were smart enough to shoot the shit in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I got decent at it, but like people would start to trust in me, and then I would make a mistake and crash. And be like, no, now I've lost all my reputation in this server. Time to leave. The bonus, though, I find with the Call of Duty ones is that they've added that awesome little side game, the zombie one, right?
Zombie Nazis.
Yeah, that's so much fun. Especially if you're tired of playing just multiplayer all day, death matches or whatever, and you just jump on that for a little bit. It's just a really nice change of pace without even having to take the disc out.
Yeah,
it's easy to switch to it.
That was probably the smartest move on Treyarch's.
Yeah, it's just like a little arcade game. Like, really, they use the same exact thing. They just change some textures, and it's just a lot of fun. I love it.
Nothing but a horde mode. But that, like, even in that time, like with the breakout of Nazi zombies, no pun intended, but we started to see other titles, competing games out there doing their own version of horde mode. Like, I remember playing Gears of War, where they started introducing us to, like...
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Turrets and obstacles and stuff. And yeah, it just took it to a whole new level. And then Halo had their own version. It was like, we're just going to send in waves of Covenant to come and kill you. And that was a riot. Like, for a while there, it was fun. And then I don't know. We got bored with it.
I have to say that was probably my favorite Halo game was Halo ODST.
Oh,
yeah?
really? I didn't like that
Yeah.
one.
I say it's my favorite because it was the more, as I like to say, realistic.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're not a super powered Master Chief.
Yeah. Yeah, it was more in line of you felt more vulnerable in the game. It was it was funner that way. It was like, if you run into the middle of shit, you're gonna take damage and possibly die. Unlike Halo, 1, 2, 3 at the time, you just run in and bash them and go,
Yeah.
right?
I just felt a little cheated because they made you weaker, they added a few new guns, and that to me was all they did. Like there was not a lot of change. You still did the same thing in the game, like traveling from point A to point B, killing stuff.
Well, visually it was nice. Like I loved the atmosphere that they gave it, and just how desolate of a place. I'm trying to think of what the place is called. I'm going to call it Metropolis, but I know that's wrong.
Gotham.
People, yeah, let's just say Gotham. People are going to hate me for that. I'm going to get fucking ringed for that. I love Halo, but like ODST, it's been a while since I've played, and that's the one thing I always appreciate of that game was one, its tone. The soundtrack is beautiful, and I wouldn't say it had like the greatest story, but it came bundled with like all of the Halo 3 map packs for everybody, so you could take that online and enjoy it with your friends.
See, and I'm probably a little bit in the minority here because I pretty much played Halo for the single player, like single player co-op, mind you. I like to play with my buddy, but
the single player is great.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of the multiplayer. Like I remember Halo 1, the first time I played that, I actually played through it with my brother, and we were so addicted to that game that we actually both called in, skipped our shift at work so we could play it.
It was the only
all-nighter. It was great. One of the best times of my life, man. That was one of my favorite games growing up.
It was not only the first Xbox game I ever played, but it was the reason I bought an Xbox. Was the first Halo title.
Yeah.
And it took someone else that I knew who would just so happen to be at the same LAN party as me. And we're talking like LAN party in the sense that everyone else brought Xboxes, but I also had like Nintendo 64 and stuff with me. But everyone was just so fixed on this game, and I couldn't, help myself. I got in there too, and the rest is history by that point. Now we're looking at Destiny.
That game, Halo 1, is the reason that I actually went and pre-ordered Halo 2 and did the midnight release. Like, I stood in line for that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One of the only games I've ever done that for.
I stood in line for one thing, and one thing only, for when it comes to video game stuff, and that was a PlayStation 2.
Oh, I was going to say Connected Adventures.
Oh, yeah, that too. But no, it was a PlayStation 2 I stood in line for. At my local Zellers.
See, I don't even know if it's that I'm less excited for the stuff that's coming out, or if that I'm just more patient now that I'm older. I'm like, I can wait until the morning. Go there like I am.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I pre-ordered it. I have the receipt.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what is the urgency?
Yeah, and we've like lived now with the experience in this sort of thing. Like when a new console gets put out there, we got to see how it kind of pans out for the first little bit. Like, sure, maybe the launch titles look interesting, but just thinking back the last couple of generations, launch titles that have been available haven't really been all that amazing. It's certainly not something that lives on and it's continually played. Like, it's just kind of there, and then the good shit comes out a year later, and that stuff all gets shelved.
That's the video game industry, though, in a nutshell. It's like every other year there's something new, and you lose interest in the old stuff.
Well, what about Black Ops? Like, people like to go back and play Black Ops 2. I hear that is probably the like best Call of Duty title. Like with Call of Duty Ghosts, there really wasn't much to it. I heard people ditched after buying it with the next generation console, basically tossed it in the corner and went back to playing Black Ops 2 because they just like how that game feels.
I think multiplayer will always be the exception for that. Like, there are people still, you guys know Jedi Knight Outcast? That super old game? People still play that game. And it's so old. Like,
I bought that for the PC.
I started playing it the other day because I met some people who have it, and it's fun. The lightsaber fighting is pretty good. And it's so old, and it's just, playing with other people. Trumps the single player boredom. Like when you're alone in a room, playing that, you're going to get bored. But when you're with other people, there's always going to be other stuff to stimulate you.
Absolutely. It's no doubt that the social aspect of it makes it all the better.
Oh, damn straight.
I want to go back to when you said the launch titles. When I stood in line and I bought my PlayStation 2, they only had one game at the Zellers, and that was Keshin.
What's that?
Oh, okay.
The worst game I've probably ever played in my life. Graphics at the time, though, were amazing, but I'll just throw the wiki and you can take a look at that here. But
yeah, bring it up.
It was the only it was the only title they had, and so I bought it. But it's one of those things where I bought it home, had no idea how to play the damn thing, have no idea. It spawned 2 sequels now, but it's just like I'll never touch that game again.
Real tactics video game, huh?
It left such a bad taste in my mouth. You know, for a launch title, that's all there was.
Yeah.
See, looking at the cover and the description, I might have even bought it. Just being like, ooh, tactics.
Yeah, it looked good. It is like when it talks about like how many characters could fit on the screen and real-time battles, and I thought it was something going to be like Destiny Warrior. This is before that even came out, right? Yeah, I thought it was something like that. No, not at all. It's like a point and click, really bad RTS. So sad. My childhood died a little bit with that.
You know what? There were so many games where I, as a young, inexperienced gamer, would go and buy just off of the cover of the box in the back. I'm like, oh, this looks really good. And I'd get home and be so disappointed. And, you know, go back to EB and trade it in for a fraction of what I paid for it. Just a big kick in the balls.
Yeah.
I feel like those guys are like, they're like drug dealers, but nerds. Because they definitely get people hooked and they take advantage at some point with that whole trade-in system.
You're selling cars. That's how it is.
Yeah, I guess it would be closer to car sales than drugs. But, you know, when you look at World of Warcraft, I think it's closer to drugs because people have like gotten fired from their jobs, lost relationships from that game.
I don't understand. I don't understand the big thing about World of Warcraft. I played it a while ago for 3 months, and then I played it with one of our other console Xplosion members, Black Ace. You can see his videos on the consoleexplosion.com where he's getting a lot of the epic mounts and stuff like that. Okay. But I played with him, and I was bored of the game. I just don't understand what's so fun about it, you know. And he's been playing since like vanilla. He's played for years, 10 years or whatever.
But I mean, just think about it. Back what we were saying, the social aspect of everything makes the difference.
I was just going to bring that up. I like the social aspect, but my brother-in-law, he was in love with the economy. He like would spend his days in the market making money. He loved that game for that. Like, it just fascinated him, which I didn't get because I would get in and out of that place as fast as I could. I would buy or sell whatever I needed to and fuck off.
Go on for adventure, right?
Yeah, because I liked hanging out with my bros in that game.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, at the time, I think it was one of the first titles to really bring it to that point. Of course, there was like EverQuest and stuff out there, but this is just after Warcraft 3 happened, and Bungie was on this pedestal, and I guess they still are. They haven't gone down anywhere, but...
You say Bungie or Blizzard?
Did I say Bungie? My mistake. Blizzard. Bungie. I'm going to get fucking ringed for that, too.
No worries.
Sorry, guys. A little dyslexic sometimes.
Please, no need to apologize.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, it's all my fault. I'm sorry. So, I mean, they were definitely like... Now we have... what's that new Dota version, or that Dota game that Blizzard's put out now, which is basically a Warcraft...
I heard about it, but I haven't seen anything.
Well, it's still like in a very... I think it's private beta.
I think I heard from somebody that World of Warcraft, you no longer have to pay to play every month.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I think it's become free.
It's free to play up to level 35, and then you have to pay after.
You know, that's enough for me to get back into it. I only played it till like I was level 20, and then I got sick of killing pigs and I stopped playing it. I
Well,
also
see,
didn't want to drop the $10 monthly fee on it for a game that I almost really like. To a point, I was just like, nah. You know, I did it
but you
for
know
the
what?
trial.
You're gonna hit 35. You're gonna get your first mount, and then you're gonna be hooked. That's what's gonna
Yeah,
happen. Like, because
yeah,
when you get to level 60, I played as a druid, so I liked that I could turn into a bird at level 60 and
yeah.
fly away. Like when you go to another universe, it was awesome. You just pick a fight with some guy, and the PvP in that game was like it got really exciting when you'd find a guy in the area. I would like turn into my cat, go all stealth, and then just gank people who are grinding stuff like a dick, obviously, but it was fun. I
And it was a
enjoyed it.
beautiful world. Like
Yeah,
visually,
the
it was nice,
universe is really well put together.
See,
quite
but
robust.
with their new expansion, have you seen all the stuff about how they're upgrading the graphics and the models of all the characters now?
Well,
No,
they've been
They
doing
actually look
that.
like a new gen game.
not
Well,
all
that's good.
square and clunky. That would be
I
kind
think
of
I think Cataclysm actually brought out some updated visuals, but it's nice that they're taking it to the next level and going like next generation.
I think the expansion, a couple expansions ago, probably they added in like a werewolf type character. He might have been a new class completely.
Oh yeah, there's been new
Yes.
classes introduced and stuff.
It is an ever expanding game, which is probably what makes it so exciting. People will hit level 70. Like I got
Yeah.
up to level 60, and
What do you
I
mean level
got the
70? I have all my characters when I stopped playing level 90.
Okay, see, I played up to level 60, and I got the expansion after that. I think I hit level 64, and it was just too much work, and I just got bored with the game, and I stopped playing.
See,
Well,
because now what they have is they have like when if you were to come back, you can actually get up to level 90 really quick. And I guess with the new patch or the new expansion coming out, apparently you can just like pay to get all your characters up to level 90.
See, I don't like that. I just, I know it's convenient, but I just hate that people will pay for that shit. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh no, agreed. But again, I play with Black Ace there, and he's got. I think there's one person that has more mounts than him, and one person has more pets than him.
Yeah, and he's probably not going to want to either come back and help walk a level 1 through up to a level where you can fight with him, or
mm,
even start a new character once he's got all that stuff.
Actually,
No.
with the friend codes, if you know someone in there, and apparently if they send you to come back, you get plus 300 experience points for both of you.
ooh,
So he would start a new character with me that he doesn't have, and
Okay.
then grind me through it, and then we'd be like level 90 within 3 days, if that.
3 days of hard work, or was it like just
No, 3 days of doing absolutely dick all, and yet boom, we're ready to go.
wow? Huh,
Like
they really
it's
changed it
like,
because like getting one level once you I think past level 40 took a long time, and it was just like it was tedious. It's like, okay,
yeah,
let's stop talking, let's get back to work here, boys.
not
It was a
anymore. It's
second
really
job.
easy. The hard stuff comes with all their new like the Pandaria stuff and getting all that and different mounts and stuff. But it is what it is. I threw a link in there so you can see the upgraded graphics. There's some big differences,
You're
oh, I
like a
believe it. Like Merlin,
Maryland.
Maryland.
but it's still a game that I don't think I'd go back to.
No,
No.
I mean, I never really was hooked in the first place. I went for like a month and that was it. I got my fix and I got out. Sometimes it's nice to revisit, but I got other games out there that do it for me now. Like you can always dip into Skyrim when you want to, or maybe when you're not a vampire. But
Yeah.
like,
You know what? They're actually remaking Morrowind with the Skyrim engine.
yeah,
So you're gonna fight like in Skyrim, and the world will look like that, but it'll be Morrowind. In my
yeah.
opinion, the best of the last 3 or 4 games that came out. I
Well,
didn't play Daggerfall, but the story in Morrowind was just epic.
yeah. And I've never like followed the Elder Scrolls series from the start. Like, I would say Skyrim is really the only one that I've actually put time into. And I've heard very good things about Morrowind. I'm
It
very
was
tempted
it
to
was a
try
different
it.
time for games. You really should just go back and play the old one because when you play a game like that without a compass in it, which has a point defining exactly where you need to go, so you can walk a straight line from where you are at to your objective. It makes the game really boring. Whereas in Morrowind, you have to like get a description of where to go from the guy, like based on landmarks, and you actually have to find it using your eyes and your brain, and like all you really have is north, south, east, west on your map.
Right.
That's all you get, and it makes it an actual adventure.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
I do have a copy of it.
You should definitely play it.
Maybe I'll
or wait
it's
until
an old PC game. I mean, I don't know if it runs well on the.
Yeah, like it's not perfect. There are some things that are going to frustrate the hell out of you, like your skills for like attacking with your sword. It'll be like whatever number your skill is. Let's say it's at 5. That's a percentage of how many times you swing. It's going to strike the guy. So you'll swing 100 times. Only 5 times it's going to actually hit the guy. The rest, even if you're like right in front of the guy, standing on him, smacking him with your stick, it's going to miss him. And it's frustrating to no end. Like, you'll just lose your mind.
Well, that's cool, man. Definitely need to maybe dip in there sometime. Maybe you can bring it over to my place and we'll play it.
See, but you have to also remember, though, it's like if they went back to the original game and the map, that was the whole thing. That had Skyrim, Morrowind, Hammerfall, had all of it in the first Elder Scrolls. But that was like text.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was reading about them back when I was into Morrowind. Like in Daggerfall, there was a climb ability. Like you could actually climb walls if you were a vampire and stuff like that. And there were intricacies that made it a lot better. But at the same time, because it's an old text game, we wouldn't be able to play it today. We wouldn't be interested.
Right.
Even the magic content in Morrowind was way better. You could levitate. You could combine spells in a unique way just by like using your mind to make them actually like fun. Like there was a super jump ability, but if you used it, you would like land on the ground so hard that you would die. So you would have to either jump over into the ocean and like land somewhere where you're not going to die, or you'd have to find something to make yourself fall slower or cast a levitation spell. And there are like maybe 5 or 10 different ways to do it, so it gives you like a feeling like you're actually like in control. Whereas Skyrim's magic system is just so basic and simple, and they boasted it being something new and good, and it was just they took so much out of it.
Well, see, that's the beauty of the PC version. All the assets are available in a source development kit for Steam, so you actually have access to also workshop mods. And people out there have been redoing the UI and sort of changing the visual look of the game overall to sort of either degrade it down to what was Morrowind, or sort of revise or sort of improve on the experience to sort of give you a more authentic Elder Scrolls feel.
Yeah,
something that people prefer. Just hardcore fans of the game, more cleaned up UI, maybe more control with your magic, like you're saying.
well, it's more
All kinds of
magic
things.
content. Like it's pretty limited in what you can do.
Oh, okay.
Like the mysticism school, the alteration school, they were so like there were blinding spells that you could cast on people and they wouldn't be able to see you. There was just so much more intricate. There was so much more into the game. It's a real shame. I feel like they kind of became popular and they put out like what I call the Call of Duty of RPGs, and that was Skyrim.
See,
Not
when
that
I
didn't play the shit out of it.
when I played Skyrim, there was actually another game that came out around the same time that when I got stuck in Skyrim, I started playing that instead, and that was The Reckoning.
Reckoning. I'll check that out.
Okay. That's not a title. That's a title I would never have expected.
Because I've seen the game, I just never like looked at it before. Saw the title.
The Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
That game was, honestly, a really fun game. It's a shame that they went out of business. It's a shame that they were sold to the city of New Jersey.
What?
But, yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
They borrowed money. They borrowed a couple $1 million from the city bank to make this game, to fund it, and it didn't sell as good as it was supposed to.
Nope.
And they went bankrupt. So when you go bankrupt, the assets of the game were given to the city of New Jersey. And the city of New Jersey has been trying to sell them off to other people. But nobody's biting on it. Even though the Kingdom of Amalur game, to me, hands down, one of my favorite games. Like, I love it. It was designed with enemies and characters by Todd McFarlane. He worked on all the artwork from Spawn.
Okay.
From Spawn, like the
the guy that made Spawn.
Wow.
I only know that character because he was in Soul Calibur.
Wow.
He was like one of the first anti-heroes. Probably not one of the first, but one of the first ones that I remember where he was like a bad guy, but he was a good guy.
Yeah.
Yes. And then R.A. Salvatore created the game universe and the lore. And
what's he known for doing? I'm not familiar.
You're not. He's an American author best known for the Demon Wars saga, his Forgotten Realms novels, and his first novel was the Star Wars The New Jedi Order series.
Okay.
So the biggest thing is just the way he writes his stuff. A lot of thought and a lot of that type of stuff into
very
his thing.
Detail oriented.
Yes, and there was I forget. I'm trying to figure out. It's not stating anything in here, but there was. A playable demo was given for the PlayStation 3. The demo garnered attention for being, according to Kurt Schilling, way more buggy than anyone should ever been released. Kurt Schilling had something to do with this game too. He helped fund it. And if you don't know Kurt Schilling, he's a baseball player.
Okay. Sports.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And baseball of all things. Sports.
Yeah, but to me, this game was good. It had a good engine. It was more of your basic, hack and slash type game.
Where I will now look for it.
You need to play it. It's really cheap to pick up because it's again bankruptcy game, but it's a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I wish it had online, but for the most part, it was good.
Nice. Speaking of buggy games and also Bethesda, are you guys familiar with their Pirates of the Caribbean franchise?
Bethesda?
Yeah,
published Pirates of the Caribbean.
They made a game long before the movies came out, which is the one that I liked. And then after the movies came out, because they had the rights to make these games, they made one that was based on the film with Jack Sparrow in it and all that jazz, which was basically just running through several levels. It was very basic and not good, not worth the money. Mm-hmm. But the first one they made, big open world, where you are on a boat, you can capture ships, board them, steal their cargo. Then you can add the ships to your fleet. You can assign your people as captains of the ship and everything. You can take forts in this thing. You're hunting for treasure. And the game was really good up until you started to get to the very end of it, where it bugged out on people. And it wasn't just me, it would happen to everybody. Like, their file would be corrupt and then you could never finish the game. And it was such a letdown.
Aww.
And that's like the defining relationship that I have with Bethesda. It's like love and hate, because they don't do enough bug testing, in my opinion. And with games like Fallout, you'll see more recently, just riddled with bugs. But it's such a good game, like in its essence.
Yeah, but these games are so complex in their construction, you can't honestly expect it to be a smooth sail all the way through.
That's like saying putting a house together is complicated. You can't expect the roof to stay on. Like,
yeah, but the house doesn't change, and like new things don't happen within the home. Like, you can renovate it and stuff, but that all requires like manual labor.
Maybe it was a bad comparison, but like there is obviously some leeway, but the amount of bugs that were in the Fallout New Vegas were just incredible. Like, especially since it was based off of the Fallout 3 engine that they were using. And
I'm sure they're still updating. Like, I have New Vegas on my PC, and I still at times get an update here and there. But did you see, sorry to cut you off,
no.
I shared a link from YouTube. Is this the Pirates game you're talking about?
Because that Pirates game that you showed the link for looks a lot like Sid Meier's Pirates. That game.
Yeah, it is a little
it.
bit in the third world map when you're traveling around the boat. It's just like that one, but you can like go on land and stuff like that too and walk around. Yeah, I remember when Sid Meier's Pirates came out. I got it specifically because of my love for the Pirates of the Caribbean game. I was like, oh yes, finally they've made another one and they're gonna do it right.
And did they do it right?
You know, I don't remember playing through the entire game. It was a good one. I remember that.
Okay.
My memory gets a little foggy there. All right, can I just take a little break here and go to the bathroom before we change subjects?
Yeah, sure. Go be human for a second.
All right, just cut this part out.
Since he's going to go do that, let's play a commercial. Hey everyone, you want to record video game footage to your computer and be like cool guys like us? Well,
I do.
ConsoleExplosion.com, you can actually click our ad right here on the bottom, and you can get a Roxio HD video recorder for 20% off the regular price. That's right, save 20% off by just clicking the ad or link in the description, and you can get yourself any Roxio products that they offer 20% off. It's a huge deal.
20%?
That's right, 20%.
Holy shit.
20 and little percent sign. I don't know what those are called. Percent signs? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
All right. Either way, check it out. Links in the description. Ads right here. Hopefully you pick it. Check us out. Again, that's www.theconsoleexplosion.com. Scroll to the bottom. Back to the show. I guess we should talk about probably what one of the last things on our lists here.
Well, I got a few more things on my list, but we've been doing a lot of talking.
Yes, this one's stretching. For the people that watched our last one, we went 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of like back and forth here that I can cut out too. It's just at least 2 more things I want to tackle, but I know which one you want to talk about, so let's do that first.
What do I want to talk about?
The Expos?
Oh yeah, that could go till last.
Oh, okay.
I was actually going to talk about the consumer Oracle.
I'm not familiar with this.
The $200 to $400 Oracle Rift.
Oracle Rift? Oh,
Oculus.
Well, that's different. Oculus and Oracle.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Oculus.
Okay, so you two will be ranked for something, so I don't feel so bad. That's actually my next order of business. That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so new report came out. Oculus Rift consumer product is on its way. We should be able to see it by summer of 2015, and it'll be priced somewhere between $200 and $400.
Now, what is this Oculus Rift?
Oh my god.
Yes, your god.
It's
my
the
god.
future of gaming.
Is it a console? Because the price leads me to believe it's going to be a console of some sort.
It's more of a peripheral for your computer. It has software that works with the PC, and it's a virtual reality headset.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, man. I can't believe you haven't heard about this. You got to look it up. We're on like...
Man, I get my news from you guys, so, you've been slacking.
That's true. Everybody else here in though is probably like just doing the face palm thing right now. It is your responsibility as a gamer to be aware of this sort of business.
You know what? I'm new here, so I'm going to just take that one as a pass.
Yeah.
We showed a picture of it with the first story.
That page probably didn't load, or it took, this thing is actually an error occurred. Please try again later. I just don't tell you guys.
We were talking about the boobs and the whole headset thing.
Oh, yeah, that's what he was wearing.
It didn't open up.
Well, there you have it. So, okay.
It probably just won't load again, but anyway, continue.
For the last, because this, give you the long and short of it, Bill. The Oculus Rift was originally pitched on Kickstarter by some kid, 17-year-old engineer, some stupid thing like that. He figured out a way to basically crack the code to virtual reality, and everyone cashed in on it. Since that has happened, we've had 2 development kits that have been available on a limited release. And they're still pushing out units because people continue to buy it. And they've also been acquired by Facebook. And I think the price was at $1 billion.
Oh, wow. That looks kind of heavy on your face there.
Actually, it's super light. People
Wow.
say they almost can't tell that they're, well, I mean, they know that they're wearing it, but you can't feel it.
Yeah.
And so they're
Man,
saying, like,
the
people who have
future
tried
is-
this, have nothing bad to say about it. Like, even with the first dev kit, it's the illusion that it builds. I want to try it. That's all I want to say with it. I want to
Oh,
fucking
of course.
at least try it. If they have one at the comic convention this year, fuck talking with people. That's all I'm gonna do. We'll just have footage of me talking to like virtual anime girls, and maybe we could get the celebrities wearing Oculus too, and they could be the chick or something. Who knows?
Hey, that wouldn't be a terrible idea.
But I don't want to be like doing any virtual groping. That's just weird.
No, I don't know if that will work because you wouldn't be able to feel the sensation with your hand. You just feel strange.
Yeah, well, you
But
just
this looks incredible. I can't believe that this is actually happening. I remember being a kid and thinking, I can't wait until they get virtual reality.
oh yeah, it's
Until
just around the
it's a
corner.
reality. Oh my god.
I'm very excited to see how this levels the playing field. But with this new Oculus Rift consumer model being reported, there is now a Canadian-based company out there that would like to compete with Oculus and Sony with their project Morpheus headgear, because Sony also has their own virtual reality headset coming out for the PS4. Not sure when. It's just a prototype now, but lots
Really,
of
they'll all
good things
have
to
their
look
own.
forward to. So this company is a Montreal-based, formerly known as True Player Gear. They just recently launched a crowdfunding on Kickstarter for what they're calling the Oculus alternative that they're dubbing Totem, which is still a working title. Says they need to raise as much as 350,000 Canadian dollars to even consider competing with Oculus and Sony. Now, it seems to have all the nice bells and whistles. It's all there, you know, head tracking and 3D and full high definition picture. But I guess they're following a different method with the hardware. The idea is that you can plug in any external connection via HDMI, and it also supports USB, but you can essentially, like they do with TVs now, with 3D TVs, they can sort of simulate a 3D effect. I feel that's the same idea they're going to go for, is to make a platform that's more palatable for a consumer to just kind of do as they please with it. It's not limited to, you know, what kind of hardware you're running it on or anything like that. But I actually found a comparison chart between the DK2 Oculus, the Morpheus, and the Totem. And I'll just kind of go through the big stuff so we don't like spend our whole time on this whole thing. Totem has a internal focus, meaning that you don't need glasses. I guess they will work out whatever kind of prescription that your eyes require to see a clear enough picture, which is kind of cool.
And what, you just wear it like glasses instead of like a big
Well, you
goggle?
wear it on your face. And the problem with Oculus and Morpheus is people's glasses get in the way. I mean, you see it. You're a guy that wears glasses, Bill.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
you got to deal with that sort of thing when you go to like 3D movies and stuff.
No, 3D glasses in movies, they are quite good about making them fit over your glasses. It's more like swimming. You can't wear goggles. And that was a real pain in the ass growing up.
Okay. Well, you can do it virtually now with Totem.
Woo!
Yeah.
Virtual swimming.
Simultaneous real world setting. They have a real world view, which is a new feature that neither Morpheus or Oculus introduced. I heard this was something that Mark Zuckerberg briefly mentioned right when Oculus was acquired, because they had to do a whole like address to their stockholders and all that kind of stuff to really like allow them to understand like what this means for the future. But what real world view basically means is you can switch off the software, or how should I say it? Because it's still running on a screen on your face, but you can see out into the real world like you're not wearing them in the first place.
Which you couldn't do with these Oculus Rift, obviously.
No. Or the Morpheus. Like they're just strictly meant to be to display whatever you have them wired into. So I guess their point with this Totem device is to build sort of a mobile platform that you can then take outside with you if you wanted.
Oh.
It's got external audio jacks, binaural surround sound, which tells me that it's got some headphones with it, which the Oculus or the Morpheus don't have. And it is supported on all platforms: OS X, Windows, Linux, PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox One and 360, iOS, and the Android. So, I don't know, they might give Oculus a run for their money. They work an OLED screen, just like the Oculus kit. The Morpheus, I wasn't aware of this, only has an LCD screen, which may be a downfall for them. But that could just be some cost-effective.
Maybe it just doesn't give enough to the change it enough for them to care, really.
Well, they could be settling on cheaper hardware so that they can compensate for more power elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Weight-wise, without all of your cables hanging from it, and the objective ultimately is to build these cordless because you obviously can't maneuver in a 3D space and get yourself tangled and entwined in your cords. Without cables, the device weighs 400 grams, which is 40 grams lighter than the Oculus DK2 currently.
Seems pretty negligible. I guess 40 grams is you'd feel it, but it's not gonna make or break, right?
Yeah, you're right. But for younger kids and stuff, it might make all the difference. It's also a little smaller and form-fitting.
Yeah, now we're gonna start having neck problems with our people wearing these all day.
I think it's going to be eye problems.
Yeah, because it's shooting shit directly into your eyes. I was thinking about that, but I don't know.
Totem's obviously they see that as a main concern. Besides the fact that you might struggle with wearing glasses underneath an Oculus Rift, what is happening with your eyes? Because you have a screen literally inches away from your face. How are your eyes adjusting to that sort of 3D feel or illusion that they're throwing in on these screens here?
Do you think that they would have gone ahead and made this thing though without consulting an optometrist to see what potentially could go wrong?
Well, we've seen it because Oculus is now in its second generation of the development kit, and Morpheus is now around there. Virtual reality is now
a reality.
Prominent. It's a reality. It's prominent within the industry, and Totem has obviously heard out some of the concerns that are arising from this hardware. And there must be some concern about your eyes adjusting in some way. Maybe we'll see a whole generation grow with glasses. Not that's an issue, but remember all those times?
Nerds.
Remember all those times growing up, it was don't sit close to the television, you'll wreck your eyes. This brings a whole new level to that.
Yeah, but that I don't know if that's ever been proven to be true. It's just something you tell your kids.
No, I personally, I will say it. I am living proof that it's not true because I've by far spent the most time in front of a screen, sometimes 2 at once, sometimes 3. Out of my entire family, I spend the most time in front of a monitor, and I have the best vision out of my family. I don't wear glasses. According to the doctor, my sight is great. Everyone in my family has, well, not everybody. My sister doesn't use glasses, but my brother had to go as far as getting glasses just to kind of help adjust something because he was getting headaches looking at a computer screen. So, I mean, I don't know how I got so lucky, but I feel like that's complete horse ass. Maybe
so this is a reality. We can get this today.
Technically, yes, but it's limited. So they haven't
be limited games and systems that could run it, essentially.
Well, technically, it's not a consumer product as of yet. They have what's called development kits, which is only coming from the Oculus. The Morpheus, as a matter of fact, is not in the reach of the consumer by any means. They have them on show floors, so you could try them when they're there on display, but you actually can't get your hands on one to take home. The Oculus has been selling dev kits so that people can create software to support that platform from the time it's ready to actually release to consumers. But it's open for purchase for anybody. So theoretically, it is still a consumer product, but it's not the final product. So you're just buying a prototype that isn't up to what it potentially should be. You know what I
So
mean?
basically, hold off until they're done.
Exactly, because they just keep jacking up. Like when they bring out the dev kit too, they're jacking it up with more sensors, better screen, you know, lighter weight, uh, easier management of cables, all that kind of stuff.
The dev kit 2 is only 350? 350.
Roughly.
You say only, but that's like the price of a console, so
yeah,
it's not like
and this is essentially a console. What Oculus is shooting for is a platform for virtual reality.
Mm-hmm.
So this won't be something you plug into your Xbox or PlayStation. It'll be its own thing with its own games.
Right.
Okay.
But the Morpheus will let you play PlayStation games with a PlayStation console using Sony hardware, giving the same effect.
And Sony games.
Well, then there would have to be games specifically made for it. It's not like they could just have that work on anything, could they?
Well, not necessarily.
Since it's just video that they're altering, that would be able to work with anything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and
that's pretty cool.
And the Morpheus is only supported on a PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4.
Do you think that they're going to make a different controlling system for in the game, or would you actually be just kind of seeing things in virtual reality and then using a controller?
Well, as of right now,
you have to use a controller.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as of right now with the Oculus, you have to use keyboard and mouse, or if the game is optimized for it, you could use your PC gamepad if it's available.
Well, imagine when they get this working with motion technology like the Wii, but like obviously refined to a good.
It's already happening. This Hydra thing I mentioned earlier, it's essentially what PlayStation Move is, but for virtual reality.
This is bonerific.
I know, right? Right now it's all kinds of cords and cables, but once that shit hits cordless, like fuck, like that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's already good enough to just sit there and use a keyboard and mouse. Like sometimes I'll watch people play through games like Dread Halls, which is nothing more than just wandering through a dark dungeon, just trying to find an exit. And so there's all kinds of like ambient noise and
like the
monsters
Parable.
And shit in there. It's similar to Stanley Parable. It's got more of a spookiness to it. You can't see all too far. I mean, the OLED screen has such contrast and definition in it that it's incredible. But the reactions you get from it are real, and I don't care how simple it is. If I gotta walk through a hallway just to get that feel, like it actually gives you the feeling that you're like gonna fall. If they show like a demo of you standing at the top of a cliff, you actually get that feeling, like that pit in your stomach where it's like I should probably step away from here.
That's why they call it virtual reality. It's gonna feel so real.
I know, and I'm super stoked. I have yet to try one, and I fucking want to.
You're talking about people who are gonna have problems with their eyes. I think it's more gonna be people are never gonna leave their rooms now. There's gonna be a next generation of kids who are just these like shriveled up old people, but they're really just young and they've never left their room. They're all light sensitive and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know how we're talking about the Oculus Rift? I just threw a link there that shows on Versus, our Let's Play, their Versus for the Achievement Hunters. They actually played a game, Dodge the Bullet, on an Oculus Rift. And you can see one of the guys wears glasses and it fits perfectly over him. And they have no problem, and it's all movement too, right?
Okay.
So it's the new generation of gaming. Like they're dodging bullets like the Matrix, and they're just moving, and it's moving on the screen and everything. So yeah, it looks pretty good, and I think the whole thing's going to be exciting. And I think if they do the Morpheus for the PlayStation 4, I would love to see the first-person view of The Last of Us.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. That'd be something for sure.
Well, virtual reality in anything other than third person would kind of feel like a waste because it's putting you inside that world, right? So if you're going to see it from third person, it takes you out of it a little bit. Like obviously not as much as the controller and the screen, but through first person, you would just feel like you're in the world, and it would. Oh, I'm getting excited just talking about it. It's going to be good times.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for this next year in gaming. It's going to be huge. Like, I might even hold off on Destiny and a PS4 just if Oculus can get me that consumer model ready to go by the summer of next year. Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, nice.
I gotta set my priorities. I have
Oh
shit I
my
gotta
God.
pay for, and
And they're coming out with DayZ's on PS. It's going to be on PlayStation. So that with the Oculus Rift, mind blowing.
and who knows? It might even on PC. It will probably it will
Well, yeah.
eventually hit that point. I mean, the Steam software alone already has a new interface for virtual reality headsets. So they've been optimized. They're ready to go. Like Half-Life 2, that's optimized for virtual reality. And people have actually worked it in with Hydra. And you could do shit like fire your gun over your shoulder and throw your grenades and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really cool. All right. Well, have you guys heard? Guess what turned 13 years old?
A baby walrus.
Baby
Manatee.
walrus? No.
Walrus.
Manatee.
Manatee. Well, man, I'm going to tell you that the GameCube has now turned 13 years old.
Ooh, happy birthday!
Doesn't that make you feel old?
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
13, eh?
maybe just a little bit. If that doesn't make you feel old, I got something better. Want to hear it? As of next year, Toy Story was released in theaters 20 years ago.
Oh, that does kind of hit home.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So, anyways, back on the happy note, happy birthday GameCube. Did you all get to experience the GameCube in its prime?
No, I never did actually. I didn't go for the GameCube. Was Xbox to Xbox 360. Pretty boring guy.
Yeah. Hey, you find something you like and you stick to it, right?
I did get a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 1 as well, but those were after I got the 360 even.
He does not support the Fuhrer.
No, I do not.
No.
No, I got the GameCube. I got it pretty much the moment Smash Brothers and Double Dash. I guess Smash Brothers. The moment Smash Brothers was announced and released, I made sure I had it.
Yeah. Yeah, Smash Brothers is definitely a must-have for me. That was one draw to the console for sure. I don't know. What do you say? Let's maybe list some of our faves from the console. Shit that we enjoyed to play. A couple of my favorites personally, of course, this goes without saying, but Super Mario Sunshine, which is still a joy to pop in once in a while. They actually say statistically playing Super Mario Sunshine makes people happier. And I truly believe that. It's a fun game.
Because of the music.
Oh, absolutely. It's all just happy-go-lucky and feel-good kind of stuff. Double Dash, which for some reason amongst my group of friends feel that it's the worst out of Mario Kart, but I personally feel it's by far one of the best titles in the franchise. It was Mario Kart, but with a twist. And you could still like cooperatively play with another player on single. You could have the player act as your buddy on the back, and all you got to do is change seats, and next thing you know, the roles change. This guy's driving now, and you're the one firing the items. So, it had some cool dynamics in there. And I still like to go back to it once in a while. I'm sure you guys can agree with me on that, but I stand by it. I am definitely a proud supporter of Double Dash, and I would love to see a next generation Double Dash.
Really?
I would. If that, they should maybe put it as like a game type in the current Mario Kart titles, like, I don't know, just call it Double Dash, and this is where you can pick two characters and you get a two-seater cart and you can just keep playing your Mario Kart game as is. Like, I would just like that. I don't know. That's just me. And Smash Brothers, no-brainer, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Good fucking game. Great game.
Love that one.
Some of the oddball ones, F-Zero was a riot. F-Zero was super fun. I liked racing titles on the GameCube. I found that to be really, really good. And Resident Evil 4. You can't go wrong with Resident Evil 4. Probably.
That was on the GameCube?
That premiered on the GameCube, as a matter of fact.
That's kind of surprising to me. The GameCube seems like such a Mario type game like console where you have all the fun, happy-go-lucky stuff.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I don't know, having Resident Evil on the console, like it says here that it sold 1.6 million copies on the
Wow.
GameCube. I mean, that's nothing compared to the 7.9 mil that the Smash Brothers raked in, or Mario Kart Double Dash just beneath that at 7 million, approximately, it says here. But, you know, the GameCube had some good stuff going. Some people appreciate Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Kirby Air Ride. That was a surprise.
Never played it.
No, it's really fun,
No.
actually. Like, for
Really?
a GameCube Kirby game, and it's just racing. It is just racing, but you can do 4 players, and you hit really high speeds. I don't know. I would say it's comparable to, like, F-Zero.
Really?
Except it's all dressed up with Kirby.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's good times.
Check that one out.
And of course, we saw a lot of ports coming over from the Dreamcast to the GameCube.
Yeah.
Such as Sonic Adventure, the Director's Cut, and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Those were up there with my favorite.
Absolutely.
They were just fun games.
Star Fox Adventures. One of Rare's last titles ever developed on a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
I haven't played most of these.
For
Well, you
me,
should start.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind on my homework.
A little bit?
A couple years
For
too
me,
late.
I'm being nice to myself.
I'll list off some of my games here,
Sure.
and we'll see if you guys agree or not. First up, the number one was actually a port from the PlayStation 1, and that would be Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's Sweet 16,
All right.
License to Drive.
I don't judge, so okay.
I'm kind of waiting to see if you're messing with us again. Or just
Yes.
crap joke.
It's a real game, though. It's a real game, but I'm just
Oh, yeah.
saying, yeah. Luigi's Mansion.
Yes. That was
I
a
like
launch title, and that still like has some cult legacy that follows it. Like we got a new version of it on the 3DS, of course, but like I would like to see it brought back into the Wii U. I think it could have potential. It's
Yes.
amazing that we only got one.
Well, a lot of people didn't like it.
Well, I'm looking at it here, and total, it sold approximately 2.64 million copies in its lifetime. I mean, that outsold Animal Crossing, Mario Party 4, Metroid Prime, Paper Mario, Resident Evil 4.
Really?
You're telling me people don't
Resident
like
Evil
it?
4?
Yeah. Unless this source I'm looking at is wrong, but according to this, it has 2.64 to Resident Evil's 1.6 million. So
I thought Resident Evil
take
was
that.
a lot better than that.
Well, it no doubt has more rave, I feel. People are certainly more vocal about it.
But no, Resident Evil 4 is up there with one of my favorite
absolutely.
games.
It has to. You'd have to be castrated if you didn't say that.
Is that
Another
the
port.
co-op one that they have? Where, so I've got one of them. It might be 5 actually. So please don't castrate me.
What are we talking about? Sorry.
Resident Evil.
Co-op Resident Evil. That'd be Resident Evil 5 and 6.
Yeah.
5. Okay.
Yeah, 5 and 6 are on the generation.
That's the one that I pretty much started playing.
Yeah.
Talking about ports, the enhanced ports of Skies of Arcadia Legends.
Okay.
On the GameCube, that was a great Japanese game brought over. That's a fun game. Eternal Darkness.
Okay.
That game, you want to talk about a game that was scary at the time? That game is pretty good. It was like as you're playing it and you're going more insane. It's a psychological horror type game.
Okay.
You're playing it. The more you play, the more insane your character goes, and like it would make you like give you the blue screen of death on your thing and say that your GameCube overheated.
What?
It would like it
Just
would
to
do
mess with
stuff
you?
just to mess with you. Yeah.
Well, that's
It would
cool.
like kill your character or do certain things that would like say your when you're going to save, will say that your card is corrupted.
Your house is on fire. What?
But it was pretty good. It was a good game. And then
so
I have to say, one of the last ones actually would be the remakes of Resident Evil 1.
Yes.
Which was
That-
what? Just
so
like
it's good.
up to graphics or a different story?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Story was the same, upped graphics, different rearrangement of things, more balanced. It was, and what you're expecting would never happen.
Awesome.
And then the
Like
last
they really
one
care about their fans, right?
Oh yeah, no, it was good. It was a nice remix for sure.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say the last one, due to ingenuity, Pikmin.
Yes.
Apparently
Yes, and
someone
that
found that
still
funny.
lives on. Oh,
Someone
did you
found
hear
that-
that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's my roommate next door. That's Aleem. He's playing League of Legends right now.
Oh,
I
what
thought
a
it was
guy.
a woman.
Yeah, I did too, actually.
He's a little hysterical. He's got an hysterical laugh. You hear
I
that,
was
Aleem?
expecting you to be like, "That's my girlfriend."
I'm sorry, guys. I was looking at anime tits. My mistake. It's interesting. The one title none of us mentioned was The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Never played it.
No?
Did
I'm
you?
replaying it right now on the Wii U, I should say. I did buy the HD remake, which is just beautiful. I don't know what it is about it. It's got to be the cell shaded graphics. I said it before. It tickles my fancy, something fierce, and I don't know. It's so charming and it's so captivating. You almost can't put it down when you're playing it. It's so beautiful. But yeah, there you go. That's essentially our favorites of the GameCube, and of course some like mentionables like Pokemon XD and Mario Strikers.
Never played them.
To name
I
a
played the
couple.
Mario basketball one. That was it.
Oh yeah, Strikers is fun. Like out of all the Mario sports titles there are, I would pick this over Tennis.
Oh, Tennis for the 64.
Well, yeah, I know like there's something to cherish for that. Like people love that game. Tennis is fun, but I would say Strikers is probably the best Mario sports title.
Yeah.
Just in my own books. It's definitely a riot when it comes to like multiplayer and all that kind of stuff, which is all these games are really tailored towards. It's no fun playing by yourself, but get some friends in there, play some soccer,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, back
Soccer
then,
was
that's
always
what it
fun.
was to have the machine and everyone play around it.
Yeah. You hear that, kids? People used to play together in a living room.
Within arm's reach of each other, so you could smack the guy if he fucks with you.
Absolutely. But yes, the GameCube will live on in our hearts. Would you say it's one of the best consoles?
I would say, for me, probably not.
Would you say it's one of Nintendo's best consoles?
I'm a big fan of the Super Nintendo, like my origin of gaming.
Hmm?
I'd have to go 64, NES, Super, GameCube, Wii U.
Super's really low on your list. What's going on there, buddy? You want to talk about it?
I never owned a Super Nintendo.
Holy
See,
hell.
that's why I can't really say much about the GameCube or the Wii, because I've played maybe a few times at friends' houses, and that's my experience.
I owned a Sega growing up.
Yeah, I never had the Sega either. Kyle has-
Traitor. I had a friend with a Sega. I guess
Yeah.
we hung out.
You were
You know,
friends with Sega, not the guy.
Well, it was nice though because he could come over to my place, we would play Nintendo, and then we could go to his place and we would play Sega. So it was kind of like we always had a reason to chill, hang out. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't feel like playing Donkey Kong Country right now. Let's go over and play Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking stay up late, try and beat all those games, get all like the Chaos Emeralds and shit. I was young back in those days, okay? I don't need anybody ridiculing me for it.
No judgment. We all did it.
No, I know. I'm not saying you guys are. I'm just on the record. Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. Happy birthday, GameCube.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yay. We can't say the song because it's copyright. But,
Really?
I'm not paying anybody.
Yeah, no, there's no reason to. You already put money in a GameCube. There's no reason to do it any more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Be the most expensive happy birthday you've ever sang in your life.
Yeah. I should really get the Twitter.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing more of this kind of stuff.
I suppose, but I just always thought, like, who really gives a shit for what I have to say? Like, am I that arrogant that I'm going to post something up on there and be like, listen to what I say?
Oh, it's not so much that. I see it as like a networking platform. You know, you meet people, you can distribute your stuff accordingly, and it's your own voice.
I always just
directly
thought
to the.
If I got Twitter, I would just use it to tally up the number of poops I take in my life. Like, poop number 1, and then I'd write the location. That's what I use Twitter for.
Yeah. Okay. You know the In-Betweeners, right? Just to quickly touch on something, I think this is funny. I think his name is James Derek, or I could have that name completely wrong. He's the one that plays one of the In-Betweeners.
The nerdy one with glasses?
No, he's the jerk. He's the like scrawny dude that just like makes fun of everybody's mom and stuff.
The Caesar? Oh, are you talking about the sex crazed one?
Yeah, the sex crazed one.
Okay.
He never saw a point in Twitter either, but since he's been on Twitter, he's done nothing more but make your mama jokes and make them as short formed as possible. Like, just get to the punchline as quick as you can. Obviously, the challenge
thing about that guy, he's actually like a family man. He's got a wife.
Oh, yeah.
Kids.
I actually just listened to a podcast where he was there with his wife, and they were talking about their 2-year-old son and how he likes alcohol now, and he's already starting to swear, and he's using it in context, which is the scary part.
So he's a smart kid then.
Yeah, picks up really fast.
It's just he doesn't have a show that he's doing right now, does he?
He's doing a movie.
Because I know that the guy with the glasses, the nerdier one, him and the other guy were writers on the show. So he actually has another show that I've recently finished.
Oh, yeah?
It's called like Friday Night Dinner. Friday Night Dinner is what it's called. It's
Okay.
It's pretty funny, but it's similar in the style of humor to the In-Betweeners. It's basically a lot of the humor comes from the weird dad and the two brothers kind of picking on each other. Like, for example, they'll constantly try to get one over on each other by messing with their drinks. So they'll replace the water with vodka, or they'll fill his water with salt so that, like, when he's not looking, so that he drinks it. And it's a good show to watch. The dad's just a huge weirdo, drying fish under the stairs in a cupboard.
Okay.
It's good shit. You should really check it out.
All right, buddy. I definitely will do that.
I don't even know anything about this In-Betweeners. I never heard of it.
Oh my god, you gotta watch this show. It's single-handedly the funniest fucking British sitcom ever.
So the British one, not the US version.
There's a US version?
There's a US version.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah, fuck the US version.
Did it just
It's
start?
British all the way.
Oh, you
One
know what?
season,
Actually,
12 episodes.
Yeah, it
only
failed.
lasted till 2012.
My sister told me about that one. She said that it was just completely like garbage, not worth watching.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
They finished the British one with a movie that is like
2 movies.
2 movies.
There's the second movie.
Yeah, the second movie came out this year, as a matter of fact.
I have not seen that yet. Well,
It might still be in theaters.
The first movie was epic. It was really good. My friends who don't like British movies watched it and they loved it. So that's like something to go on right there.
That is something to say about that, for sure.
Another good movie, if you're looking for a good watch that's pretty damn funny, surprisingly funny because it starts out a little slow. If you guys know who Steve Coogan is, he's got a few shows that he did. One of my favorites, Saxondale.
Wasn't he in Hamlet too?
Yeah, he is in Hamlet too for a very short time. He was in Tropic Thunder for a short time he got killed.
Yeah, he was the one that blew up on the.
But yeah,
land.
I think he wrote Hamlet too.
Yeah, he did.
But there's one called Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa. Check it out, Matt. You will like it a lot. There's lots of subtle humor in it, as well as just ridiculous, blatant stuff. It's good.
Okay. I see a trailer for it. I'll play it through at some point. Not now, but I will. Cool.
All right, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say about movies for now.
Awesome. Thanks for the recommendations, dude. Definitely have to check it out. You know what our listeners need to check out?
I don't know. What's that?
Well, I hear we're going to the Saskatoon Expo this weekend.
What?
Jared, why don't you elaborate a little bit for us?
Will do. Yes, you can actually catch a few of our staff members that will be going to the Saskatoon Entertainment, or the Comic Entertainment Expo this weekend. Let's see here. Let's pull this bad boy up. It will be September 20th to 21st. And if you want to see a list of the people going, we actually have a video on our website as well as on our Facebook and on Twitter right now and our YouTube page that you can actually see some of the whole list of people showing up, from animators, from, they have Phil Lamar from Futurama. They have...
Kind of wish I had the list in front of me to help you.
Yeah, Brandon Roth, Superman. Lance Hendrickson. They have Tyler Main from X-Men. So Robert Englund, Starburns from Community. Some cosplayers. So we'll be having our second interview with Lindsay Elise. So we'll look forward to that, as well as we'll probably be having our second interview with Jessica Negri at the Edmonton Expo the following weekend. So the next 2 weekends are going to be pretty big. Lots of stuff coming from the console Xplosion. And yeah, just keep checking the Facebook and our probably our Facebook and our website for all your Saskatoon Comic Entertainment Expo needs. If you're not going, we're going to have all the stuff from the floor to the shows to interviews with guests. So yeah, look it up, check us out, follow us. Lots of stuff coming. The next couple of days is going to be busy, busy, busy. And the next week is just going to be as busy, if not busier, as we go to the 5th annual Edmonton Expo. So if you're in the Saskatoon area, this is the first one. Pick up the tickets. They're going fast. September 20th and 21st. Be there or be square. It's hip to be
or
square.
Round. Square or round. See if those fit. Yeah. Also, you'll get to check out me at the Edmonton Expo, and I'll be accompanied by Bill along with a few others.
It'll be good times.
Yeah.
Good times for all.
It's going to be a riot, and we're going to be there for 3 days. So if you're on the floor and you see us,
come say hi.
Come say hi.
Yeah.
And I promise I won't nibble or anything. I said that last time that I wouldn't bite, but I teeth.
Okay, now I've got a question about Starburns because that piqued my interest. Is he a writer in Community? Is that why he's appearing? Like, does he have more of a role than I know of in that show? Or is it just because people love him and his sweet-ass sideburns?
I would think it was because of his starburn or his sideburns.
His starburst. Good candy.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Let's pull up his Wikipedia page.
Because he was out for like a season, I think, and then he came back, and then there was a well, I don't even remember what the episode was. It was like a wedgie person, and they all pinned it on Starburns. It was good times. I love that show. I was sad to hear that Chevy Chase stopped, but apparently he was kind of a dick, and that's why they didn't want him back.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the creator, the main creator, left, and when he left, that's what caused all the issues.
Well, no, he was apparently a prima donna. Like, he was mean to everybody, and it hurt me to hear that about Chevy Chase because I'm a huge fan of his. Like, I love his movies. I only, in the last 5 years, learned about the Fletch films, which to me are just hilarious. He's so sarcastic. He's an investigative journalist, and it's just really good movies, considering
Yeah.
how they are.
Well, it's just a case of like probably where you shouldn't meet your idols. You know, they
Yeah.
don't always pan out to be exactly as you perceive them on film. You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
Chevy Chase, it's been said before, like he's got a history of just kind of being that cocky tool guy that's like he always has to let it be known that like he was responsible for writing this joke or writing that, and it's just like, you know, ultimately that doesn't matter to, you know, your fans. It's just, you know, you don't need to be gloating about that kind of stuff.
It's a slippery slope, I guess, right?
It is very slippery. And yeah, he left an angry voicemail to like some of the makers on the community show, just basically cursing the name and
Was it aired?
talking all this crap. Yeah, it was released to the public. Some news reporter got their hands on it and stuff. And it was just, yeah, he didn't appreciate Community and what it did for him. Like it reignited his career, if anything.
Oh, yeah.
And he just had nothing good to say about it. He's like, it's a mediocre program. Like nobody likes this stuff. I know what's funny. I've been doing it for the last like 40 years of my life or stuff like that. You know, just really bigoted comments that really didn't have to go being said. But
well, clearly said in anger, though. It's, I'm sure, with a cool head, he might not have. Maybe he even regrets it. Who knows?
Well, maybe now.
No. You need to think about though the fact that he, as an actor, quote unquote, who takes his craft very seriously, quote unquote, you know, to play a role where it was hard to say if he was actually being Pierce Hawthorne or they're making fun of Chevy Chase himself.
Yeah, I think
right?
it's true. Yeah, you're right.
I think that's where he was getting a little pissed off about the character, where they just kept putting him in these lines where he's making their character really, really dumb. And when Dan Harmon left the program, that's where he got even worse. And then when Dan Harmon came back, Dan Harmon tried to get Chevy Chase back for season 5, but the studio said no, we will not do it. We'll not have him. So they filmed him in that holographic thing on a different studio.
Jesus.
It was like a CBS studio or something.
Keep him at arm's length.
Yeah, so that Dan Harmon took him to a CBS studio and they filmed it all there and then put him into the show. That was the only way they could do it.
They didn't want him stealing the stationery or some shit in anger.
Well, as far as NBC's concerned, he'll never work with them again.
It's terrible. It just it hurts to hear that, but it is what it is.
It sucks too, because that's like a huge bridge that he just burned down. Like his debut was on SNL, was it not?
Yep. Well, no, Second City TV, right?
Okay, yeah, SCTV, right? But
it was Second City TV in the States, right? So.
But like since then, like NBC has been his cushion, and like he just basically went ahead and bit that hand.
Who made all of the Lampoon movies?
National.
Yeah, like, is that actually the name of the studio who made them?
I don't know. I don't think it was NBC.
Doesn't it? Oh, Warner Brothers distributed Lampoons.
Yeah, but again, he played a goofy schmuck, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, people loved
it. I loved it.
Yeah.
That used to be our Christmas movie. We'd watch The Christmas Vacation every time.
Yeah, like absolutely. You got to watch it. It's tradition.
Hell yeah.
So is there any closing thoughts?
Yeah, the fact that they have a new vacation movie being filmed already.
No.
It's not a sequel. What am I talking about?
Well, does it have Chevy Chase in it?
Yep.
What?
It's on his IMDb. It's
I'm gonna watch it
titled
for sure.
Vacation, and it's currently filming.
Oh, that's awesome.
And in post-production, it's him as a repairman in the Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Ooh.
Which that movie looks funny, by the way. Do suggest you see it.
Well, the first one was great, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm expecting the sequel to be just as good, if not better.
No, it was a
Yeah,
good
because
movie.
he did Chevy Chase did a short film or a little short, anyways, to see if people were interested in Clark Griswold, and they were. So it
You
was
just said the
called
name and it made
Hotel Hell.
Hotel Hell? I'm gonna check that out.
Hotel Hell Vacation.
Huh.
And it was just like this little short, and people loved it, and yeah, they're now making another one.
Nice.
So here's an example of how big Community was. On this IMDb page, for what Chevy Chase is known for, Christmas Vacation being number 1, Lampoon's Vacation being number 2, Caddyshack number 3, and Community ranks 4th overall out of his entire arsenal of work. As far as IMDb is concerned, Community is one of his biggest.
I'm curious where Fletch is on that. Is
works.
it anywhere on the?
Not on the special list of being known for, but he would definitely be on the filmography. But at that point, it's all listed just based on dates.
Yeah.
So we don't have any sort of ranking to go by. But
Really, not him in The Last Action Hero?
that's not what I'm talking about. But okay.
Well, he was in that. He played himself.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just talking about his most famous roles. So everything out of National Lampoon's Vacation movies.
Oh, he put that Hotel Hell as a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's funny.
That's actually really clever too.
And he got the original woman to play his wife again and everything, D'Angelo.
Oh man, I remember one episode. I think it was the European Vacation. You saw her boobs, and that went straight into my spank bank as a kid, because I thought she was hot growing up. She was very good looking back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful lady.
Mm-hmm.
Probably kind of old now, but considering what Chevy Chase looks like.
Speaking. Wow. That hurts my head. That went right in my spank bank. Really?
Yeah, why not?
Goddamn right.
Did you cash a deposit?
Oh yeah.
But getting back to the original question you asked about Starburns.
Yeah.
He created Moral Oral on Adult Swim.
Oh, I actually enjoyed that show a lot.
And he's also worked behind the scenes as a producer and consulting writer for Community.
Oh, there you go. See, I knew it couldn't just be Starburns, because he doesn't, like, he appears frequently, but it's not like there's a lot of depth to his character.
Yeah, and then he has a new show called High School USA coming out.
Okay, cool.
On Fox.
Should check that one out.
Oh wait, series premiere July 21st, 2013. Series finale November 30th. Fox ordered 6 additional episodes, totaling of 12 episodes. Oh, I know this show.
Any good?
It's funny because it's High School USA. It's like Archie.
Okay.
Like the comics.
The comics, like the drawings is just like Archie comics. I thought it was like, I remember watching it and it's like the show's still going on, and it's really bad. It's funny as hell though, but I was watching it, I'm like, oh look, the people who do Archie comics have a new TV show, and then they're talking about Blackstein. He's like a Jewish black kid. Yeah, and it's like they talk about things that go wrong in high schools, and like they wrap it up in some weird, gross way. You should check it out. It's a funny show. So.
Well, if you seriously haven't checked out the In-Betweeners British show yet, then you do that, and we will do what you demand as well.
Yeah, straight.
Yeah.
Got it. And then we can talk
definitely
about, so
trade.
what did you think?
Exactly. I would love to hear what you think. You seriously not watch the In-Betweeners?
Never heard of it.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
It's not like it's mainstream in North America or anything like that yet. It's pretty. It's British, right? And I'm surprised you've heard of it, really. except for the movies came here, they were pretty popular. But the TV show itself was not that big.
It's been building a pretty big cult following. Like it's been snowballing into this big thing. It's honestly
once the movie came out, people went back to look at the show and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's all in its entirety on Netflix, as are most things these days.
Oh, is it actually? I started watching it. Like I saw it quite a while ago, because my sister is really big. She's got her husband's from Britain, so she's really big into their TV and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, British comedy is just amazing. Little Britain, probably some of the best shit I've ever watched.
Little Britain's like probably the least of the amazing out of there. It's like good, but it's not the best. It's far from the best. You should check out. There's a show called Fresh Meat that's pretty good too.
Okay.
And Saxondale is another one. I already mentioned that. Saxondale, Steve Coogan is a genius, and that show is amazing. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Well, Coogan on TV sounds good.
Oh yeah.
Kaz, did you have any more to throw in before we close the show for today?
I do have something to say. I'd like to welcome the Co-op Couch as a official member of the Console Xplosion feature. So you can check out all their videos to be uploaded 2 a week, as well as you can check them out on their own YouTube channel. If you don't want to wait for all of them, you just check them out on YouTube. But yeah, the Co-op Couch, welcome and enjoy your videos.
One thing I would like to plug, if you guys do want to check out more of our current stuff, we're actually, for the month of October, we're doing a spooky month where we're going to be playing nothing but atmospheric horror games. So that's something I'm really stoked for.
Nice.
Atmosphere horror games, like the PT.
Yeah, PT is
demo?
something that's on our list. We're definitely popping that in. The fact that we haven't played it yet just gives us all the more reason to. And Humphrey, especially, is a little bitch when it comes to scary games. You can see it in the Slender Man game that we played a few weeks back. But they're totally down for it. This is the only way I can get these guys to sit down and play a scary game with me. So, like, it's going to be the absolute scariest that we have in our library. So, check it out.
You guys couldn't do like a whole turn the lights off, have a camera for your reactions.
I wish I had a night vision camera so I could do that. Yeah.
I don't know. People want to see grown men pooping their pants.
I do it.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. Just more Oculus stuff. Have you ever watched Markiplier? That guy's got some great scary games that he plays, and
I think I know what you're
reaction
talking
tapes. That guy is just hilarious as fuck. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't quite hit that level yet. Maybe next year, if this continues to be a regular occurrence, maybe we'll try something like that later. But as of right now, it's just going to strictly be audio and game footage. But yeah, definitely find your way over to our YouTube channel to keep up to date with all that stuff. We'll be releasing a new one every week leading up to Halloween.
Awesome. Look forward to those.
Mm-hmm.
Cool beans.
Alrighty. Well, guys, I guess this puts tonight to a close. Thank you very much for joining me. Bill, good talk, sir.
Indeed.
Hope to hear more of you and see
your contributions to the website.
Yeah.
But again, my name's Jared, otherwise known as Kaztech, signing out from beautiful Ottawa, Ontario. Go to www.theconsoleexplosion.com and also follow us at The Console Explosion.
This has been Bill Hyndman giving you the latest and greatest news on gaming from the Console Explosion. I'll see you next time.
And as always, I am Matt. My Twitter is at GingyBeardyGuy. Follow me, retweet me. You can tweet my way and I'll tweet your way. We can all tweet together. It's a big social experience.
Be a big tweet fest.
Yeah.
Tweet Fest 2014. And I'm
Just
pretty sure Bill went
tweet.
tweet. Tweedledee tweet. I'm pretty sure there's a song we can put in there.